Killtocraft Podcast, episode 24. I'm Vanessa. Welcome. I'm back. So today I have for you some group news and a bit of knitting and also a little bit of sharing. So let's get down to business. You can find me at Instagram as Nessa Townley. You can also find me on Ravelry as Killtocraft, and you can find show notes at the Ravelry Group, which is Killtocraft Podcast. So come over and join us there. It's sometimes a little quiet, but do remember you can talk amongst yourselves and join in chattering and things. I do tend to be quite busy. I answer when I get time or when I'm not absolutely shattered. So, and I've been quite busy this past couple of weeks, so I've been quite quiet. Anyway, group news. It's my Podaversary. It's been 1 year. It was quite close last episode. I think it was the following day that was my my anniversary episode. Could have been last episode, and it was the following day that was the actual day I put up my first ever podcast episode, but I didn't feel it was right to be a little bit premature, and I decided to wait until this episode. So yay! 1 whole year! How exciting. So it's been really great. I've done lots of things and shared lots of things with you guys, and you've shared tons of things with me as well, so thank you. Like, you guys have been so kind and helpful and even suggestive when I've needed it. So thank you so much, and I love spending time with you, and it's been really great. So here goes to a second year number 2. News as well is my latest pattern is now available on Ravelry. It's been re-released and it's out today, which is super exciting. And it's the High Heart Bees pattern, which are these bad boys. I'm sure you remember me showing you these from not long ago, and I've been having a good 8 test knitters test these recently, and all of them came back lovely. Really enjoyed the pattern, and it was really successful. And I've been working this week really hard to make sure it's checked, the maths all work for definite, and that everything's templated up how I'd really like it. I've then made sure it reads correctly and things, so I've been really super busy, like most nights this week, and especially last night because I had to set up the new information on the pattern page and make sure that as much information as I could give you was there and accessible. So yay! And these are also going to be my next knit along, so you can come over and join us on the Killtocraft Ravelry Group, and I will be I will be starting the knit along for this sock pattern over there. There will be an FO thread eventually for you to put your finished objects to be in with a chance to win some prizes, which is always good. And basically I've got the chatter thread on there already for you guys to start posting and chattering about yarn and things, and I've basically said that it starts from today till the 12th of August, and then I will close down the FO thread and I will pick a winner, and I will try to arrange a good day to ship and get things off and everything. So that gives about a month and a half, which I think is a reasonable time to make these. My test knitters have pretty much done it in a month and a week or so I think that's perfect, and I can't wait to see all of your socks. which is also another perfect thing to knit for your box of socks. So a new free pattern to enjoy for your box of socks. Yay! So I knitted the sample in the small size, and this yarn is the Homespun House Olsen base, well, Olsen fingering, on the In Bloom colourway, and I think it's gorgeous. It's come out beautiful. So if you haven't checked out Molly's shop at Homespun House, you should go over there and check out her yarns, because she does some stunning work. Really nice. I haven't actually washed these yet. I've put them on the blockers and then I've just put them in my box for the time being, because I'm not wearing them yet, or ever, because these are my sample pair. I made a mistake of wearing the first ever pair I made of these when I first released the pattern, and I wore them and made a mess, so they were never usable again, which is why I've had to re-knit them when I redid the pattern. So I won't make that mistake again, because this is, well, the pattern is spot on and so is the sample socks, but I want them to be good to show. So come over to the Ravelry group and join in. I would absolutely love it. Other group news is I'm hosting a giveaway, so there will also be a giveaway thread in the Ravelry group. There is lots of stuff going on. This is for a newly released design by Debbie Reese and Amy Meeks, and they've released the Random Act of Colour Wrap, which is basically a beautiful design created in memory of their very much loved sister Wendy, and I thought it was such a sweet design. It is gorgeous, and I think that the idea behind it is so beautiful. Basically it's a 3-colour wrap shawl. Each colour represents a sister, but one of them will pop the most brightly and shine stronger than the other colours, and that was to represent their sister Wendy, which is so sweet. I thought it was so kind that Debbie and Amy shared this design with me and gifted me the pattern, and I do want to make it at some point in the future, because it is a beautiful, beautiful design. As I say, 3 colours. There is a textured section and a laced flowered section, which I think looks stunning, and I've been seeing this pattern all over podcasts. I know Mina did one. I know that Little Bobbins Danny also made her Random Act of Colour shawl, and so did Katie of Inside 23. Hello! And all of them were absolutely stunning. Well, the sisters decided that they would like to give me the pattern, but also you guys, so you could make your own Wendy shawl basically and wear it with pride. So I'm gonna put up a thread on the Ravelry group, and I'm gonna put a prompt, but I'm not sure what yet, so we'll see what that is. But I'm thinking 2 weeks I will give you, and then I will draw for the prize, because they are also hosting a knit along in their Ravelry group, which is the Periscopian Sisters. I'm sure everybody's heard of them. And that is ending on the 31st of July. So I figured if I draw that soon, you can also get knit in and possibly enter in too. I think that's it for group news. I don't think there's much else. What I'm wearing today is my Corona sweater, which is a pattern from Pom Pom Quarterly, which I made last year, year before, But I absolutely love this. This is one of my favourites. I didn't really knit it out of anything elaborate. I think this is a Rico design yarn, but it's still one of my favourites. It wears really well. It's not very bobbly at all, and I just love wearing it. Fits perfect. So, other things to chat about. Whips. Got only a couple of whips this week. I feel like I'm a bit whipless. And I've got no FOs at all. But there's a reason for that. I've been very busy. Very busy. So I've been knitting on my... Let me just find my second sock because it's hidden underneath. I've been knitting on my Jedi Mind Trick socks by Cookie A, and they look super strange right now. You see, they look really weird, but all will come to light eventually when I get these bad boys done. But I think you can see the pattern emerging. They look super weird, I know. I'm thinking that once they're blocked they will look a lot more interesting, because you'll be able to actually see the open section of the sock. But when they're just flat they look really lumpy and bumpy and strange. But I've got two socks pretty much at the same location now, so we're just past the gusset and into the foot. So, yay, exciting. And I really want to get these done because I still want to join them into the knit along. And it's coming up close. Aren't we on like the 25th today? So I've got maybe about 4 days to get these finished, but I'm not at work for next week, so hopefully if I work on these like a nutcase I will get these done. But I also need to work on something else a bit like a nutcase too to get this done for next weekend. And that is a test knit that I'm doing for Mina Phillip of the Knitting Expert podcast. And she's recently designed a gorgeous shawl that she shared on her podcast called the Sugar Plum Shawl, which is really elegant looking and beautiful. And then I'm going to make it a little bit brighter than it probably should be, but it's fine. Mina's shawl was made for her, was it a cousin or a relative, and it was for her wedding, so it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's like a peachy kind of subtle shade, and it's got garter stitch and lace eyelets. And I've done the main section, and I'm now currently needing to add my lace border. It's a really wide shawl. It's not very deep, but it's very wide. And I'm supposed to be making the small size. However, my tension seems to be slightly not 100% because it's garter stitch, and I'm a little bit loose with garter stitch, but I do still love the fabric that's coming out. This yarn is actually the same yarn that I used in my True Friend sweater, so I had an extra skein and I bought this from Berlin, and this is the Zauberweiss in the grey, semi-solid grey, and I think it's stunning. I love this colourway. I won't mind getting some more semi-solid grey for my stash because it goes with pretty much everything. And I just need to add the lace drop stitch edging, which I want to add in a skein, just grab it, a skein of Berenvola. So I think this will go amazing as an edging. Really super bright. But as you can see, I made a huge mess of the skein when I put it to soak because I thought the blues and the purples were quite bright and saturated. I thought I'd best give it a wash because I don't want my nice grey shawl to get wish-washed in a mix of dye and end up stained. So I thought I'd give it a good soak. Unfortunately, it wasn't as well tied as I first assumed, and when I took it out, it literally had tangled up amongst itself, and I couldn't find a way of actually untangling it. All I could do was find an end, cut it and make sure I knew where it was, and then sort it out once it was dry. And I'm sorting it out by first time using the Nospodine I bought about 7 years ago. I have never used this, but it's actually quite handy for weaving in and out of places and winding the yarn at the same time, because hand winding, you have to keep taking it off and threading it through and popping it back on, trying to wind a bit more. A bit awkward. But this, I can wind a bit on, thread it through places, wind a bit more, and yeah, so it's kind of good. And I never thought I'd have a use for this. I bought it and then 7 years went by and I actually thought of destashing it, and I'm not going to now because it's perfect for times like these. So I got this at Wool Festival quite a while ago. It's the only time I've ever been to the Wool Festival in Cumbria. Really enjoyed it. I went because I got a lift with a few friends at the time who have now moved or moved on to different areas in the UK. But yeah, so really useful. So if you don't have one of those and these occasions happen to you, you should really invest because it's really handy. So I'm putting that skein onto the bottom of here once I've wound it up. So I'm really excited to do that. So you should keep an eye out for Mina's pattern release of the Sugar Plum shawl because it's absolutely stunning. I know Tracy of the Grocery Girls podcast is also making this. Leah of the All You Knit Is Love podcast is also knitting this. Trying to think. Oh gosh, the Reluctant Sisters. Oh, why is your name's past me just at the wrong point? But anyway, one of the Reluctant Sisters as well, one of my friends as well, has also been test knitting this. So you should find their Instagram accounts and have a look. They're all coming on beautifully. Might have to take this off because I'm quite warm. I'm airing out the bedroom with the heater slightly because sometimes it needs a bit of a warm atmosphere. So the next thing on my agenda is to talk about the ball winder disaster, which actually turned into A New Hope. I'm gotta bring in a bit of Star Wars somewhere. I bought a new ball winder. I don't think I've ever shown you this, but this is my old ball winder, which works perfectly fine, but I just keep this in the bottom of my desk. And as you can hear, winding fastly gets annoying because this arm touches over here. I think this arm has been bent at some point, and it doesn't distribute now the yarn onto here as evenly as it used to, and it makes my cakes rather messy, especially when I'm going straight from an umbrella swift. It just doesn't seem to, the umbrella swift doesn't move as it should, and it gets a little bit snagged. And it's recently started to really bug me, so I decided to invest in a different ball winder. This yesterday was looking like the better one of the two, I have to admit, because I made a mess and a boo-boo of using the new one. It was my own fault as well. So I bought this. This is a deluxe ball winder, This I got from Bedford Sewing and Knitting Limited, I believe it is, or Knitting and Sewing Limited. They have a website and they also have an eBay page. I bought off of their eBay because it was pretty much the same price as what it is on their website, but I could then get it delivered to a local Argos and just pick it up from there, which means it's more likely going to arrive and safely. They seem to cater for a lot of sewing needs and machine knitting, which this is classed as a machine knitting wool winder. Doesn't look like anything special by any means, but you can get cheap versions of these. This has a cream handle. I believe the cheaper versions actually have a red handle, as far as I can make out, but this I bought because we have one that's similar at work, and I decided that rather than getting one that I thought was the same and probably might have the same issue, I'd get one that was like the one at work. So as I thought yesterday that I had a limp arm because I felt it click into place and I thought that was it, and it was loose and it was waggling in and dropping when I was trying to cake up my yarn. I posted it on Instagram to find out from lovely Lisa of Druzy Rising that if I just tugged on the yarn guide a little harder, it would click into place and it wouldn't move. So if you have one of these and you think that you've been done and that this is loose, give it a bit more of a firmer pull, because it might be a case of, like me, you thought you were already there at the little click beforehand. So I will try this again, but it seems now to be in firm working order, and it oscillates, and basically this arm, you just thread the yarn through. This arm stays sturdy, so it's not like my other one that moves, so I have that's not going to break, which I'm thankful for. And it's the main body that oscillates and moves the yarn onto it, and I've never really had much of a problem with these ones, so I'm going to keep you informed on how well this goes. But this cost me about £17 from Bedford Sewing and Knitting Limited in total, but I decided to get it from there so that I won't be ripped off with a cheap model that might not work as well. Their model seems to be the ones that were used in the knitting industries, so back in the day. So I decided to go with that one. So we shall see. We shall see how we go. If at some point you hear me getting annoyed again with it, I might be replacing it for one like my old one and just storing it in a better place so the arm never gets destroyed. So that's that. And then I should probably share with you some gifts that I've received quite recently, which have been so generously sent. I don't know if you've ever read the blog, I think it's a Sister's Knitter. Is it a Sister's Sitter? I'll just have a check. My Sister's Knitter. It will come to me eventually. Yes, My Sister's Knitter. And I think, if I'm correct, Andy also, name is Andy. Yes, My Sister's Knitter, typepad.com, has a wonderful knitting blog which you should check out, and she also has a Ravelry group as well. Well, lovely Andy, after my little bout of anxiety and dentistry issues, wanted to send me a sweet little gift of some minis. She kindly sent me these, a little selection of tea, and I think I forgot to mention these last episode, but they are absolutely stunning. And I have been looking through her project page to see all the lovely projects she's made with these. I specifically love this Nymphadora sock yarn. Of course, why wouldn't you? And it's an amazing colour. But all of these are so beautiful. So thank you so much, Andy. These are going in my blanket soon. Pretty darn soon. I'm going to have to spend some time on my blanket because my minis are adding up and I haven't spent much time doing them. But that came at such a right time as well, because when they arrived I'd just hurt my foot, so it was kind of a bit of a cheering up that I needed, and I was so low about it. And I think you guys all know and could tell that it was really frustrating me. So it came at a really good occasion and kind of picked me up a little bit when I was feeling down, because it felt like one thing after another I'm kind of going through this year. And then another friend of mine, if you haven't watched the podcast, her name is Jessamine. She's also test knitted my pattern for me. She hosts a knitting podcast called A Knitted Towel, and you should go and check it out because Jessamine lovely and she makes some gorgeous projects. She's a lovely personality and just a generally enjoyable person to watch. And she sent me a gift, an outstanding gift, because I was so shocked. I honestly still don't have the words to describe how much in love I am with what she sent me. And if she was here right now, I would be giving her the biggest squeeze and cuddle that anybody could give. I was so shocked, like shocked, but ecstatic. Even describing now I can't really explain. I'm still just astounded looking at this game, like, it's in my presents. She sent me some Star Wars Moustache limited edition Ray yarn. Thank you, Jasmine. She is just unbelievably kind and caring, and apparently she'd gone through a similar situation with a foot, and wanted to send me a gift to cheer me up, and thought that the Ray yarn was perfect, and it is more than perfect. I am stunned, and I'm kind of stunned that it's lasted this long in the skein, but I kind of just want to like hug it and love it and nurture it at some point into some socks. But I think because I've been knitting on my Cookie socks and I wanted to get those finished, I haven't started this yet, but I totally will be. Thank you. And all the time that I will be sat resting my foot up, because I can see this being a long-winded resting situation, this is gonna soothe hours of achy foot syndrome. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. And I love it. I absolutely do. It makes me so happy. Thank you so much. And then she also gifted me some minis as well for my blanket, which are also just as cool. She had great taste in yarn. Great taste. She sent me some hedgehog fibres, Eclipse, which is a sock club colourway, and she's written these cute little labels. But look at that. I think this is just beautiful colours of purple and limes and things. So that's really nice. And then is this one, Felici teacup. which is also just as pretty. Nice minty green. Getting a bit blown out, aren't we, by the window today? And some Bohemia fibres, which I've never tried. Which this looks cute because it's got little hints of pink and yellow and tealy colours. I think that's gorgeous. All of these are beautiful. Another shade of Fleechy, which is the Mosaic colourway, which I thought was really nice colourway from last time's colours that they had. And I've heard that they've now got their new selection of colours as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing if I can get some of those eventually. She also sent me another hedgehog fibres called Mojito, which is also another sock cloud colourway. And this is super cool as well. It's got like electric yellows and oranges and limes. I love hedgehog fibres. They do have some cool colours. I really wouldn't mind stocking up on some of their colourways as well for my stash. I think I've only got 2 skeins and kind of want to use one of those at some point soon. And then I also received some of the limited edition Moustache Yarns R2D2 sock yarn for my blanket too, which is like blues and greys, a bit black. So that's awesome. So I'm gonna have some Star Wars yarn in my blanket, which is totally gonna be good. I might put these in a row together because they are really nice. They do kind of sit well together as a selection of yarns. So thank you so much, Jasmine, and if you haven't seen a podcast, please go over and have a look. I think she has a Ravelry group as well. I don't think she has many episodes, but the ones that she does have are really enjoyable to watch and you should check them out. And I've already said to her at some point in the future, if I can like repay some love, I will do, because I really could give you a big hug right now. Big hug. But I'll give you a virtual one. So the next thing that I received in the post, which I received today, was some more Queen fibre. And this is her Flamingo colourway and pure merino fingering, which is 100% superwash merino, 100 grams for 100 metres. And look at this. How funky is this bad boy? Oh, it is stunning. I showed another skein of her yarn last week, which was her super sock. I think it was like a MCN kind of base. It was merino cashmere kind of base, and it was gorgeous. And this is just as stunning. Look at how amazing this dye work is. Please do check her out. I am in love with the colourways she's coming up with, and she deserves a lot of love. So thank you for this, Queen. It's beautiful. So I got that in my post today, and then I also acquired some treats to try out. So I've got a few things that are Addy. I've got their tally counter, which I've already kind of got one of these tally counters, but I've got another one now for another project, so I don't have to clear off my old one. And then I've got some of these, which are classed as knitting support, which are little love hearts. I'll get one out. That clip onto your cable of your circular needle to keep your stitches on there so they don't slide off, which I think are really lovely. So got some of those. I've also got a gauge guide and a needle size checker, which is always handy because I have like 10 of them and can never find one. And then I also got some 2.5mm DPNs in their Addy Colibri, is it? Colibri. maybe Calibri, I'll say. These are like different shades of colours, and one end, this one, is the lace end, so it's slightly sharper, and I didn't realise that this was how it was at first, and then the other side is a rounder tip for less intricate knitting. So I'm going to give those a try. And it also has the sizes printed on the side of the needles, which is handy. I wonder if those come off eventually. But I will keep you informed on how these are. I've got to test these out on my my knit along high heart these socks, which I will be starting soon when I've got something off the needles. So I think that's all I have to share with you today. Just gonna take a sip of my tea. I think that's all that I've got to share with you today. But it's been really nice, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. And please do come over to the Ravelry Group and join in on our knit along. I'm really excited. I can't wait for everybody to start their socks and start chattering about their knitting, and also come and join in on the giveaway. I will set up a page with a prompt, so you can all have a chance to win Amy and Debbie's shawl. So I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. No, I don't think I have anything else to share. So have a good week, and I will see you soon. Bye!